Hey everyone, my name is Josh Rackauer. I'm the undergraduate experience librarian at Hunter Library at Western Carolina University. Thank you so much for joining me here today. So, in this presentation, we're going to talk a little bit about deepfakes, specifically how you can create deepfakes and use them in your library instructional videos. So, let's start off first with a definition of what a deepfake is. Like, what is a deepfake? What is a deepfake? Okay, so a deepfake is no. So a deepfake is when you take a video. Or no, it's not quite right. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna get someone else on the Zoom call real quick and get an expert to kind of explain this. All right, hold on one second.
Well, hello there.
Karma, I'm so glad you're here. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you just fine. What's up?
Okay, good. So I'm giving this presentation on deepfakes, and I'm really struggling to come up with a definition. Like, what is a deepfake?
In general, deepfakes refer to any kind of audio, video, or image that has been manipulated or created using artificial intelligence to simulate something real.
So you're saying even someone like me with little to no artistic or technical background can make a deepfake?
Yup, pretty much.
Karma, thank you so much for helping me out with this. I really appreciate all your expertise on this issue. All right, we're done. We're done. We're done. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Okay, confession time. What you guys just watched wasn't actually my dog talking to you. It was, in fact, a deepfake. I know. I know it's a shocker, but my dog doesn't actually know how to talk. I mean, just watch. Hey, Karma, can you explain what a deepfake is? No? Yeah, she's not going to do it. Nope. So for those of you tuning in for this presentation, I just kind of want to get this off the bat. This is not going to be a big technical breakdown of how deepfakes work or how AI algorithms come together to make videos. This isn't going to be anything like that. I'm not an expert in deepfakes. I'm not an expert in neural networks or artificial intelligence or GAN or any of that stuff. I'm an expert in making silly educational videos with my dog. And my goal for this video in this presentation is to hopefully encourage you guys to maybe step outside your comfort zone a little bit, use different technologies that you might have thought were a little scary, but then once you look into them, realize they're not too bad, and help incorporate that stuff into your teaching. So, but I do want to spend a little bit of time on just talking what a deepfake is, because I think there's a lot of confusion out there. The term deepfake is still pretty new. It only dates back to 2017, and even that was coined in a post on Reddit. So one of the things about deepfakes that I'm starting to see is that the term is becoming a little ubiquitous with just any kind of manipulated media in general, and that's really not the case. Media has been manipulated pretty much since it's been created. Photos, videos, audio, all that stuff can be edited and changed, and it has been pretty consistently. Take this photo of General Grant from 1902 at City Point, except Grant was never at City Point. This is actually a combination of three images put together. So this image is from 1902, but there are certainly earlier examples of manipulated images out there. Now, what makes deepfakes kind of special and different is that you're taking and editing content with the assistance of artificial intelligence, which makes it a lot easier and a lot more convincing to create content. So even someone like me, who doesn't really have any kind of technical know-how, can make a video where their dog talks. I might have a little bit of background in Photoshop, and I used to put faces on other people's faces or bodies or whatever, and I was doing that for a long time, but it took me a long time to learn those skills. And now you can really just do it at a push of a button with just an app. So let's talk a little bit about what deepfakes are and some examples of deepfakes. Now, I think the most common type of deepfake that people are kind of familiar with are face swaps. So face swaps are where you take someone's face and you put it on someone else's bodies. And this actually face swaps were actually the original deepfake. So originally, where deepfakes were kind of coined on Reddit, they were used for pornography, of putting one woman's face on a pornographic actress's body. We're not going to show any pictures of that. So that is kind of like the traditional classic deepfake. Deepfakes can also create completely synthetic images of people. So take this example from the website thispersondoesnotexist.com. This is a completely synthesized person. Every time you go on thispersondoesnotexist.com and hit the refresh button, it'll generate a new image of a new person who does not exist. So this is completely synthesized. Deepfakes can also be audio. So my favorite example of this is Project Gucciberg, which takes a deepfaked AI version of rapper Gucci Mane's voice and records audiobooks of public domain audiobooks. It's pretty great, and the album art they did was pretty snazzy too. So that's an example of audio deepfakes. What I did was for my video, was something called lip syncing, which is where you take audio, take video, smash them together, and you have the person or dog who is in the video talking mouth movement to match the audio recording. So this technology can be used in a lot of different practical ways. For example, if you're trying to dub over something in a video in another language, you can now have the mouth movements match the audio. Same thing if you're doing ADR for a movie, so you have to do a take and the audio doesn't come out right, you can have the actor re-record the audio and have the mouth match a little bit better. So there's a lot of cool practical applications for it besides, me making videos with my dog. So I used a software called Wave to Lip, and it's a pretty interesting software, and it's also free to use for educational purposes. And I'm going to get into a little bit more about that next. But first, I just want to show you another video I did where I took clips from the film Night of the Living Dead and made them into a little video. So it's about a minute long, so let's take a look at that now.
I wish I knew how to get rid of these zombies.
Why don't you try going to the library?
That's a great idea. But how am I going to get there with all these zombies around?
The library has lots of digital services, and you can even set up a Zoom meeting with a librarian.
That's a great idea. Can you help me find resources to help get rid of these zombies?
We might have something in one of our medical databases, such as Medline, or you could check out the CDC's webpage on zombie outbreaks. And I guess if all else fails, you can always give good old-fashioned fire a shot.
Yup, that last one did the trick. Thanks so much.
Anytime, and remember, if you need help from a librarian, just schedule a video consultation. So for those of you at home who would like to create a similar video to this, you can use any kind of lip syncing software you'd like. That's totally personal preference. I used one called Wave to Lip. Wave to Lip launched about a year ago. It's open source, it's available on GitHub, it's free for educational purposes, and it's also very simple to use. It's so simple, in fact, that it's almost problematic at times. So in order to run it, you just throw the code in Google Drive into a folder that has a specific naming convention. You set up another folder where you put a .mp4 and a .wav file, so the audio and the video has to be that format. You name them the naming convention, throw them in there, and then you just run the code in Google Colaboratory, which is a service that Google has that allows you to run Python code in Google Drive. So after that, you just click yes, 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 yes. It's really boring. You just kind of run the code, and it'll spit out a combination of the audio and video kind of smashed together. The downside to this is that it's a little overly simple at times. You're kind of out of luck. You have footage that you wanted to use that doesn't quite work, so sometimes it won't recognize the face. So you might have something that's a face and it won't recognize it, and then it won't execute the code. Sometimes it'll recognize the wrong face. So let's say you have someone kind of facing the camera and they turn around. Sometimes someone in the background will get picked up and they'll start finishing what they're saying. Or I think you definitely noticed in the Night of the Living Dead video, there's some parts where like the head turns a little bit and the mouth doesn't quite, it kind of moves the mouth around a little. So, or in the first dog video I showed you, my dog Karma was a little close to the camera, so it got kind of pixelated, so it didn't look as smooth. So there are things like that that you really can't do anything about other than you could try to edit the video to try to make it more recognizable so it can recognize the face you want and the other things in the background won't be seen. You can try to reshoot video. I definitely had some times with trying to just figure out if it would even accept a video of my dog where you'd see her nose and it would recognize the nose as the face because they thought the nose was the eyes. It was kind of cute actually. So there are all sorts of problems that you can run into for that. But again, you're not really limited to this software, and every day there's new stuff coming out there. This is just a free and easy one to use that I would recommend for those purposes. The next thing I want to talk about is why did I create these videos? I think they're kind of engaging and they're fun, and I really enjoy doing it, and I'm really proud of them also. Just the other day, actually, I was talking to an instructor on the phone, and she went, "Wait, are you the guy who does the dog videos?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am the guy who does the dog videos." So that was a nice little feather in my cap. I was kind of proud of that. But the reason I made these was obviously everyone's aware most of us were working from home during at least a good chunk of the COVID-19 pandemic, and
there was a lot of remote learning going on, and with all this remote learning going on, I mean, clearly I'm pre-recording this. There's a reason for that, right? So there was, with all that that need for distance ed and a need for creating video content for virtual learning, I needed to create more video content. And, you know, you start to get a little Zoom fatigue. You start to get limited on what you can do. There's only so much you can really just talk to a camera. So I wanted to create videos that either had dialogue in them or, you know, some sort of plot. And I live alone. I really didn't have anything to do other than just talk to my dog. So I did that. I talked to my dog and I made her talk back. So I was able to get a colleague of mine to record a voice for the dog, for my dog Karma, so that we could actually have a dialogue going on for this video and actually create plot lines and things like that. So that kind of solved that problem. So I was able to do this while social distancing. And again, the same thing kind of happened with the video of that I used for Night of the Living Dead, where I was able to just take other people's, you know, actions and record over them. So I was able to do this at home. I was able to ask some colleagues to record some dialogue from a script, and I was able to create a video from that. The other thing I would like to say about using Night of the Living Dead was, if you are going to use pre-recorded footage, it is kind of nice to grab something from the public domain like Night of the Living Dead. And one thing that was helpful for that as well, using Night of the Living Dead, is I've seen that movie like a million times. I've seen it, the first time I saw it, I was probably like 14, and then, you know, I'll watch it every couple of years. So I've just seen that movie so many times that I was able to just kind of remember shot for shot almost, and just be like, okay, I kind of remember there's this scene, I kind of remember there's that scene. And then when the shots weren't lining up the way I hoped, and, you know, things didn't quite, you know, match the lip syncing, and, you know, things didn't work out, I was able to kind of think back a little bit and grab other scenes. So I would recommend grabbing a movie that's in the public domain if you can, for copyright reasons. And then also grabbing something that you've seen a million times so that you know what kind of dialogue is there. There are other ways to really, if you're using Wave to Lip, other kinds of things you can do too that might be helpful. Like speeches are really easy to dub over because you're going to have someone kind of in the middle of the camera. They're going to be the focus. They're probably going to be a little bit back. So they're very easy to dub over to make deepfake videos. So with that, all that being said, I hope that this kind of gives you guys some ideas on how to create a video like these and inspires you to do something similar to this, whether it's making a deepfake video using lip sync or other technology, or really just getting out of your comfort zone and, you know, doing something you weren't expecting to do to create kind of engaging video content, because we're probably going to be needing to create a lot more of it. So with that, thank you for watching me ramble about deepfakes and my dog and Night of the Living Dead. And I'm going to leave it off to present day me for Q&A. So take care, everyone.